Okay, we are rolling. Oh. I'm gonna edit this.
I don't understand how y'all be getting writer's block. I never had a problem.
This is my friend Anna. She's been on my channel before. But today we wanted to talk about Black Panther, the movie. And so we saw this yesterday, I believe. And actually, like, before I saw it, I had been hearing all my friends talk about it. Like, we saw it, like, it came out last week. Yeah. So we wanted to see it, like, last week, but we had to wait just because, like, tickets weren't available. Anyways, we've heard a lot of mixed reviews, so we just wanted to share our own opinion and put it out there. Maybe you guys, like, kind of, like, respond or, like, agree with us, disagree, I don't know. Leave your opinions down in the comments. We'd love to hear them. Big warning, there are quite a few spoiler alerts, so yeah, don't continue if you don't want to hear some spoiler alerts. Or maybe you do. Maybe you're that type of person. Yeah.
Okay, let's get into it.
So something that really stood out to us at the end of the movie, so this is kind of funny because we came out of the movie. I was crying during the movie. I don't know if you were.
I was crying during and after the movie.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. We get into our car and Anna just started bawling. Sorry, maybe I should cut that out.
No, it's okay.
But the point is like this was obviously like such an emotional movie.
Yeah.
And for many different reasons. I don't know. Do you want to talk about like your biggest reason?
Well, for me, I think it was just so surprising. Like during the movie, I cried a couple of times, and emotional things weren't even really happening. It was just because I realized that I had never seen Black characters in those powerful leadership roles for an entire movie. Like, usually when you see a Black character, they're like dead in the first 5 or 10 minutes, or they're like a best friend or a love interest of a friend. They don't really have like a key role. And the fact that like the majority of the main characters in this movie were Black women was like wild. And it just was so touching for me to watch. And I really so many times found myself thinking, I wish I would have been able to see this when I was little, and when I was
because like if we had that type of movie when we were little and we were younger and like our opinions hadn't like fully developed yet, and I don't know, I just feel like our opinions about ourselves when we were growing up and like going through like all of our like childhood and like uncertainty in middle school
and like hating the parts of us that are Black and feeling like estranged and left out, like the idea that there was Wakanda somewhere else and that you were meant for one place, you know?
It's just something that's really, it was just really powerful. The first big thing that came out of the movie besides that is that there was not one unified Black opinion. You can talk about that a little more.
I feel like in school, like just even like in our experience in school and stuff, when you are in a PWI or like a predominantly white institution, so for example both of our schools, you are asked to speak for Black people when you speak. Like it's like you're representing an entire group of people, you know. So many times in class you can think like you're talking about something, everyone looks at you like, oh, what do Black people think about that? And it's like how could there isn't one Black opinion.
Like for like one example, sorry for interrupting you, but I know that one person, personally I identify as being part Black and like part Asian, but not a lot of people know that about me. But when we do, like when we were reading Huckleberry Finn in class, one of the Black students in my class, he was the only Black student or like who looked Black in my class, and my teacher asked the question like, do you agree to or not agree to use the N-word in class? And everyone looked at the Black kid. And
it's like, what's the Black opinion about the N-word?
Exactly. So,
yeah, you're like, here you go, speak for everyone.
Anyways, getting to the point, there was not one unified Black opinion. It was kind of like two different examples. There was Michael B. Jordan and his character, who kind of represented the Black people who want to oppress their oppressors. So
like switching, it's like turning the tables. They want power
over
and not
whites
over like, and also he wanted to like kind of make an outreach program, but not just to educate and to improve, but to like overcome everyone else. And then, but then that wasn't like the one Black opinion. A lot of the people in Wakanda and Black Panther, the character, wanted to just have equality and just live in their own space and not really permeate those boundaries. So there wasn't like one, like all the black characters weren't going one direction, wanting one thing. It showed a diversity of opinion that I think oftentimes isn't represented.
Our second point, I guess, is regarding the representation of women, and specifically women of color, in the movie. I don't know, do you want to talk about like their first point?
Sure, yeah. So something that we found really impressive and awesome was that the main character's sister, I forget her name right now.
I
can look that up. The younger sister was this crazy scientist. So when it brings us to like the topic of women in STEM and women of color in STEM, what?
Letitia Wright, I think.
Letitia Wright?
Does that look right?
Or Shuri.
Well, yeah, so Letitia Wright plays the character Shuri, who is Black Panther, Chadwick Boseman's sister, Luria. Anyways, so her like role in the whole movie is basically, and she's in charge of like all of the technology, all of like this costume, and it's just something you don't see from women really when they're represented in movies like that way. Women aren't usually seen or depicted in this way as being
she's the best in her field. She is
being
like
the best,
the smartest, the best
in her country.
Yeah.
And specifically women of color. So this was just something that was really powerful.
Yeah. We also liked how the movie there are some scenes that really seamlessly were intertwined with accurate historical references, which made it kind of like educational, and also if you know your history a little bit, it like gave you a couple little like surprises. What would
So my favorite scene of the movie, it's a sad scene, but it was basically the second scene I cried in, I think. Are you crying? Oh, I thought you were crying. I just touched my face. Was when Michael B. Jordan kills himself or sacrifices himself at the end of the movie. Basically, his last line is along the lines of, "I'd rather be dead than in bondage." And that to me was so powerful.
And he makes the reference right before that to enslaved people
jumping out of the... Oh, this is what it was. They were jumping off the ship
to avoid continuing to live in slavery. So, like, that option of choosing death over like, being horrible life.
The movie included a lot of historical background and just, like, also, like, some contemporary pieces, too. Like, the music, if you haven't heard the album, it's woke.
That should have been on there. That should have been on there.
The music,
superb.
Like, the music fact that you can, like, combine that music with, like, Kendrick Lamar and all those other artists with like this type of movie, like it just, yes, bravo.
The other thing that I was so excited about, because I'm such a Black Panther fan, and I don't even mean like the movie, I mean like the group
of people,
Black Panthers, was at the end when Chadwick Boseman and his sister make the Black Panther education outreach program, which is a thing that the Black Panthers did.
And they go back into America, because some of the criticism they were receiving is that in this country of Wakanda, you know, all of their wealth, they were only sharing it with the African people. But that's kind of where Michael B. Jordan was coming from. He was saying that you don't help African Americans back in America. Like, we're here struggling. So
you have all this stuff, you could make it better, but you don't.
And so he was basically criticizing them for not bringing... like sharing any of their wealth with them. So basically, you can go on to one.
Yeah, but that was just really cool. I thought that they had the Black Panthers like buying out these buildings and educating Black youth, because that's what the Black Panthers did. So I think they did a really good job, like paying homage a little bit, like a nod to the Black Panthers as an organization.
Yeah. And he like decided to put his sister in charge as the president.
Yeah,
to put his sister in charge of like, the entire like STEM program, overseeing the program. So that's just like
teaching other Blacks, like people. Yeah.
So it was just another like moment of power. Oh, our last scene, or it wasn't the last scene, but
no, it was like the last scene.
It was we want to talk about.
Yeah.
Oh, where do we even begin?
All throughout the movie, there's like this superior group of warriors, like the best ones that are given the task of guarding the king. Like that's what I would assume, at least if they're guarding the king, that's the most important job.
No, she said, someone said in the movie that, she's the
general. She's the general.
Well, she's like the best fighter in Wakanda or whatever, and her duty is to protect the king, the Black Panther.
Yeah. But there's like this group of like 15, 20 women in the red armor, and they protect the king. That's their job. And so it shows that the best warriors in this whole country they're a group of women. They're a group of women that are like so badass. They're so badass. They just have spears. Like,
I know.
They're crazy. But I thought that was just wild. It was like,
because like normally like women are not, they're portrayed as like weak people or like just like there for like sex or like
an object that's like in the forefront.
Yeah, they're never portrayed as like warriors, I feel
and
like.
the best warriors.
Better
the best
than
warriors.
men.
Yeah, all the best warriors are women. Yeah, it was really great.
Yeah. Okay, I didn't write this down, but one thing.
I have one thing too. Yeah.
Okay. Do you want to go?
No, you go.
Okay. One thing that came up at my school when we had our Black History Month assembly, and this came up from another student. Usually Africa is portrayed as a country that's very highly impoverished, like all desert. Like the only point like people go to Africa for is like helping like people who are malnourished or to like go see like animals on a safari. But the way that Africa was portrayed in this film was something that was just beautiful. And even like I can go back to like the last scene with Michael B. Jordan. His dad promised him that Africa was something that was it had the most beautiful sunset in the world. And so when he kills himself, he's looking with Chadwick Boseman's character at this sunset. And I don't know, that just highlighted that also made me cry, because we see Africa in a way it's never really been portrayed before or for its real beauty.
One thing that I found really beautiful, and this is kind of a historical piece as well, there are 4 tribes that like are all under the same king in the movie, and that's like Wakanda, and then there's the other tribe, but like they're not a part of this. For each tribe, they have like a style. They're not all dressed the same, which would be inaccurate if they were all like dressed the same or something, or had the same hairstyles and had the same.
I think I know where you're going.
No, but the styles that they had, like the women had their hair in, and the different styles of piercings and clothing, all represented actual tribes in Africa. Like they didn't fake that stuff. Like, you know, the women that had like the clay in their hair to the bottom.
That's who had the lip piercing.
Yeah, no, that's all real, and it's from different areas. Like, it was another, like, this is real. This is all real. It wasn't, like, this is mythical. This, like, I mean, obviously, parts of it are mythical. Yeah. But the concept that these people are so beautiful and so amazing and inspirational and powerful and educated, it's like, it's not all. Just remember, it's not all Marvel movie magic. Like, this is real.
Sorry, this is probably our last point. But when my friends like described them going to the theater, I think this was because it was the first week and people of color were like really excited to be seeing this movie, but there were so many like Black people at the theater, they said. But like when we went to the theater, we were like the only, like maybe there was like, I think I saw like one or like a few other people of color, but it was a majority white people.
One, I'm happy that white people are going to see it. Yeah. And that it wasn't like, just whatever, like it's not.
Maybe it's good because it's educating them.
No, yeah, it's definitely an educational film and historical
is like, even like with friends I've talked to, they've told me that, oh, it's not even that good of a film. And maybe, like, yes, maybe, like, the plot isn't amazing.
It's like a Marvel plot.
Yeah, but the actual, like, entire big picture idea, that was the amazing part. And I think when Black people or people of color say that, that's what they're referring to when they're saying the movie was amazing in that way. Yeah. It's nothing like what has ever been put out before. It's never been, like, nothing like this has ever been made before.
With the superhero aspect, definitely. And I also think that if you were not a person of color, I can see how it would just be another Marvel movie. Like, I completely understand that, but a part that is important to understand is that not everyone gets that, the privilege of being represented in movies all the time, and that it is like when a movie comes around like this, the reason everyone gets so hyped up is because it's so rare.
Yeah.
And the reason we all cry is because it's so rare, and it's so special. And the idea that there's this place where that was never colonized, like, what? You know what I mean? That's so wild and amazing that we could have that little like relic. Basically what it is, that could exist somewhere. Like that's why it's so amazing in my mind.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I think that's all for review.
Yeah, it was a review, right?
It was a review.
It's just, but remember, like, this is our opinion, and there's so many other opinions out there. Like,
the black opinion. This is not the black.
Yeah, this is not one unified black opinion. This is our opinion, just from talking to each other, talking to other people about it. But yeah. Okay. Anyways, peace.
Wakanda forever. No, it's Wakanda forever. Wakanda forever.
Both bosses, both pissed, so they not talking.